it's Susumi here with another Foldit design. This is a little late night design work. I'm playing puzzle 1433, which is a medium monomer design. I've got that up on the screen. Let me just check that my stream is happening. There's a little delay. Looks like we are live. Excellent. Okay, I've actually already started this design, and I've mentioned before that I always work from some sort of a sketch. My sketch tonight is an actual protein that's in the protein data bank. Let me pull that up. So this is a little barrel that I found in the protein data bank. Looks kind of messy. Real proteins do. Mine will be a little bit tidier in the design puzzle because I'm going to try and use ideal loops. And let me talk for a moment about how this protein is put together. I'm going to ignore this long red tail. I'm not going to try and do that. It starts over here. Segment 1 is over here in the blue. There's a little bitty helix here that's sort of closing the end of the barrel, which is going to help the inner side chains be part of the core. I'm actually going to make a little bit bigger helix right there. And then there's a sheet that goes across the top and down this side, which is what I think of as the front. The sheet comes down the front. There's another helix over to the side here, and that sort of closes the other end of the barrel. And then there's another sheet that goes across the top again and down the back side. On the back, there's 3 sheets together. They go down, up, and down. And then there's this little helix that comes from the right side of the back sheet to the left side of the front sheet. It crosses under the barrel and actually closes the barrel, which I just think is particularly cool. That's why I love this little protein. And I've done just a few barrels in design puzzles before. I haven't done this exact one, but this is the one that I'm going to use as my sketch today. You can even see sort of how this shape might have evolved. If I turn it so the bottom is facing us, if you imagine that all of this used to be one sheet with a diagonal helix across it, and then the helix evolved to get shorter and shorter, it would sort of pull the ends of the sheet together and fold that sheet in half across the top, and you would end up with a barrel like this. So I just think that's really cool. I'm going to see how close I can get in Foldit and still satisfy all the filters. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, Socrates. Nice to see you. What are we working on tonight? This is a little barrel protein that I'm sort of copying from nature. Oh, by the way, anyone who wants to go look for proteins in the protein data bank, the link is rcsb.org/pdb. Let me see if I can put that in the chat. /pdb, there you go. And when you get to the front page of the data bank, let me put that in. You can search. So the one I'm looking at tonight is 2KF5. They all have a little 4-digit identifier, 2KF5. So you could type that in right here and hit go, and it would take you to the one that I'm working on. What I like to do is search for small molecules. One search that I've found fruitful is to put in David Baker's name. He runs the lab that Foldit grew out of. And just look at the small molecules that his lab has worked on. Another search that has turned up some treasures is to put in Northeast, what is it called? Northeast Structural Genomics. You can search for them as an author, and it'll bring up. They've got 1,200 proteins in there. Some of them are quite large, but a lot of them are very small. You can use this refine search button, and you'll have to scroll halfway down to find where you can put in the size, but you can limit the size to small proteins. They've just got a lot of cool little proteins in there that are interesting to try and emulate in the Foldit design puzzles. Socrates says he was checking out his chem professor's website, and his professor had a link in there to the protein data bank. That's cool. Okay, so what I've started on this design puzzle, I wanted to start from the little helix that holds the barrel together, because I wasn't sure if I could make these two turns work using Foldit's ideal loops. As all of you know, there's very few ideal loops to choose from, and I wasn't sure if these would, if this could be done with them. And I actually succeeded in that. Here's my little helix. And this is the red end of the protein. This is the last residue, number 75. So this is the little red sheet that's on what I think of as the front. Now these are kind of parallel. I sort of wanted them to make a V. I'll work on that in a moment. For the helix to sheet loop, I chose the ideal green-blue loop. Let me pull that up. That was the helix to sheet. So it's this green-blue loop right here. And that worked pretty well to make, it's a little bit of an acute angle between the helix and the sheet. I wanted kind of a right angle or slightly obtuse, but I think this is close enough to go along with. And I looked at where the side chains were on this loop, and they match up reasonably well with where they are in the natural protein. Now on the loop leading into the helix, the sheet helix loop, I actually didn't put a loop there. I left the, it just goes straight from sheet to helix, and I just twisted this one segment of the sheet. Let me pull that up. Ramamat's open already. So if this sheet were ideal, it would be kind of sideways. This is where the ideal sheet segments are on the Rama map. And I just twisted that one so that this sheet would have side chains facing in and facing out of the barrel. And that seemed to work pretty well. And then I just as a sketch kind of thing, I cut this sheet and set it alongside so that there would be sheet bonds. And I have my ideal loop filter turned on. I clicked show so that I could see if there was a red dot on here anywhere, a red glow, to tell me that this loop was not ideal. There is no red glow, so going straight from a sheet into a helix counts as an ideal loop for Foldit's purposes. Socrates tells me my stream's a little choppy. How would I find that out? I'm on Ethernet. I'm a complete newbie on this streaming thing, so you might need to give me a pointer where to look. I saw something somewhere called Stream Health. Oh, here we go, Stream Health, bit rate. Looks like my bit rate is kind of up and down. It says Stream Health is excellent. OBS has a little indicator on the bottom. Okay, let me look at that. Dropped frames, 10,000, 63%. That sounds really bad. Why would that be happening? So my CPU is at about 60%. My network traffic, it says, is at 0%. That seems wrong. Oh, it says OBS is using some network, but pretty close to 0%. What is my bit rate? Good question. Is that something I would find on OBS? I have kilobits per second 1424. Oh, now it went up to 2000. Oh, I see. It's going between green and yellow and red. It's sort of flashing different colors like a Christmas tree. That's probably bad. Settings, output, video bitrate. Settings, output. I don't see video bitrate under output. I do have a little bitrate though, down in the lower corner. And like I said, it's going red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green. I already checked that I'm on the Ethernet. So, my son is looking at stuff on his machine, but we should have plenty of bandwidth. I agree. It's a mystery. So is it making the stream unwatchable or annoying enough that people will give up? It just randomly decides to become a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, well, that's not good. Is the audio good, or is that stopping too? Yeah, I agree. Smoothness is nice to have. Audio's fine? Okay. Well, I'm going to keep going, and I'll watch the video later and, you know, see what I think of it. And, you know, I can do some Googling in the morning and just see if I can figure out what the problem is. The bit rate's really going up and down a lot. The bitrate setting should be in the output tab. Okay, let me try again. So OBS settings, I have an output section. It's just checkboxes. Oh wait, okay, never mind. I have an output tab. It says video bitrate 2500. Audio bitrate 160. But I'm not getting 2500. I'm getting 1400, 1500 much of the time. So the last time I was getting terrible throughput, it's because Windows was downloading an update. I have no idea how to find out if that's currently happening. It's fluctuating, yes it is. So like right now I've got 2400, now it just dropped to 1400. It's fluctuating a lot. Now it dropped to 900. Yeah, a Windows update would do it. I don't know how to find out if it's actually in the middle of doing that. I guess I could see if update will tell me. Check for updates. Don't really want to do that. Yeah, I don't have a clue. I would think if it were doing that, I would see it in control panel, not control panel, task manager. Let me sort by network. Chrome is using some bandwidth, but not a lot. I don't see Windows Update even running. Just looking for it here. Search, no. Yeah, Windows Update. Oh, there's more. Hold on. It's a long list. There's 4 million things running. Windows Update is not running. Unless it has some new name in Win 10, and I don't know what it is. Okay, best way to check my connection to the Twitch server is through a tool made by some folks on the Team Liquid forum. Okay, I will make a note of that. I might message you about that later. I can't make a note because my pen won't write. Okay. Love technology. If I were younger, I would cut and paste. Okay, Team Liquid. Five to 25 frames per second. Blah! I'm gonna cry. It's not really that bad, but yeah, it's mostly around 1500, I think. Okay, so I was talking about ideal loops, and the direct sheet to helix transition works as an ideal loop. Okay. But I'm pretty sure that these sidechains will not work. I'm going to select, I'm using selection interface. I always use that with the Rama map. And in the selection interface, you can select by clicking on the protein. You can also select a single segment by clicking on the blueprint. So for this green-blue loop, which is over here, I'm going to make the green one glycine, change it to G down here. The blue one is frozen. Let me undo that. The blue one is isoleucine, which is common in the green-blue loop, and I'm just going to leave it there. In fact, I might even be happier if it would turn inward a little bit and add to the core. On this side, in the natural protein, this first helix segment is arginine, and the last sheet segment before the helix is also arginine, so I'm going to set those like that. This one clearly has a crashing problem. Might end up making that a glycine, not sure yet. Okay, so this cut was temporary. I'm going to go look at the natural protein. Get some idea how long that sheet should be. In these protein data bank pictures, let me straighten this up a little bit. The sheets are not zigzaggy like they are in Foldit. Instead, they're sort of wavy, and the waves point to the way the side chains point. So this wave that points to the right, the side chain is on the right. And this wave that points to the left, the side chain is on the left. I don't know how to show the side chain in this picture. But I've just learned that's where they are. Okay, so this, I've got a side chain that goes sideways, and then I've got one going in, out, in, and then a loop. So that's not very long. And here I've got, this one's kind of sideways, and then I've got in, out, in, out, in. Oh, I have actually the right length. Okay. But I do need to rejoin my cut. And then I'll use an ideal loop to make the cut ideal. again. When you put in a cut point and then heal it, even if you start from a yellow cut point, you'll end up with an unideal join, usually. Okay, I really want to see that turn yellow. Okay, yellow means I can join it. I'm going to ideal SS that bit. Hopefully that fixes the ideality. Let me see. You can point to a segment and hit tab and it'll give you the segment information. My ideality is -2, that's not bad. This one's -2, that one's -2, they're all -2. Okay, so I don't have a big bad ideality. Okay, and I said it was in, out, in, out, in, and then the turn. Interesting. Socrates says this is such an art that he would consider streaming it under the creative directory rather than the Foldit directory in Twitch. Okay, I'm, again, a Twitch newbie. What does the emoji mean that you put in? It's that guy. He must be a famous guy. I see him all the time. Reading facial expressions is not my strong suit. Okay, I'm going to have a sheet loop here. I'm just going to try the one I always use, which is green. Drop it right on there. A depiction of Total Biscuit, a famous YouTuber. Is there a particular emotion associated with it? Like, is he laughing? Was that a laughy smiley? Is it a thinking smiley? I can't tell what he's doing. I'm going to change the amino acids of this green loop to, no, not to G, to N and G. I think, strictly speaking, the most common ones for the green are D and G, but I always use N and G, so that's what I always use. Okay, I'm going to need an even number of segments in this sheet in order to have another sheet loop that goes to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll make those a loop. And we'll use green again. And change to N and G. Okay, how are we doing? So these two sheets, this is the front sheet, this is the back sheet now, based on the way that I look at barrels, which is just my own special, there's no reason for it way. And they're awfully close together, which is good from a core perspective. It might not be quite what the natural one does. And what worries me, I'm tired of seeing these non-ideal loops. And why am I seeing them anyway? Oh, I'm seeing this one because it doesn't have any sheet bonds. Now I'm getting a non-ideal here. I thought that one was good. It was good before. Maybe it needs another sheet bond. I'm sure it was good before. Let me try making this neighbor sheet longer. I have to add 2 segments to it because I have to keep an even number of segments. And let me try. So I did not gain a sheet bond and I did not get rid of the red glowy thing. Was that there before and I just didn't see it? So This was, so it's there now. I turned the sheet around to make it anti-parallel. See, the red thing went away. When did it come back? Okay, there's no red thing now. I changed to arginine, still no red thing. Not seeing bonds here. Showing helix bonds. Huh, I don't even have helix bonds. I did tighten up the helix a little bit because let me show you the one in the natural protein. So in the natural protein, this is probably a regular helix, this blue one. You can see how fat it is. And this yellow one looks skinnier to me. Looks like it curls more tightly. Just a hunch. So I actually curled this one a little more tightly than usual, and I apparently lost my helix bonds. But this is the thing I'm worried about. When does it become? So when I move the other sheet away, I get a red thingamawhatsits there. And it stays even after I bring this back. Maybe if this were closer. How can I make it closer? Mess with these guys. That's further. That's like super close. But the non-ideal loop marker is not going away. Wait, oh, it went away. And then I moved it. So sad. There. Okay, I don't know why. It's gone now. Now the loop is ideal. A minute ago it wasn't. So confusing. Okay, but in theory, I should be able to put a turn here. And keep this ideal loop. Let's try it. Green, green. Nope, I lost it. Okay, I didn't really want this to move everywhere. Why is it doing that? Sorry, trying to get it lined up to where it seems right side up. Okay. In order to make a loop here without moving the rest of the protein, I'm going to freeze one of these guys to hold that end in place, in theory. So when I put the ideal loop on here, it moved again anyway. Bother. The emoji was based on a photo of him taken at StarCraft event where he's laughing. Okay. Laughing hysterically. Recently added to Twitch. Formerly was only available by using an extension plug-in called Better Twitch TV. This used to be the subscriber emote on Total Biscuit's Twitch channel. Oh, stream hiccup. Yeah, that could have been, well, I don't know. Yeah, if I'm actually going to be a real streamer, I'm probably going to have to learn to use emojis like real Twitchy people do. Okay, so this ideal loop is making this loop not ideal. What if I re-idealized that? that actually works. So when I drop the green loop on, it's adjusting this segment so that these two sheets will stick together nicely, and when it adjusts this segment, I lose this ideal loop. So there's some kind of proximity going on here that's important, but invisible. So, oh well. Okay, I'm gonna let this do what it's doing, which is leaning towards the front. Let me get rid of this. It's bothering me. Okay, time to look at the sketch. It's funny to call it a sketch because it's real, but okay. So in the real protein, we're working backwards from the red end to the blue end. So the sheet goes up, down, and up and over. They have a loop that would not qualify as a folded ideal loop. Oh, and this is interesting. So this is what one side chain looks like in a sheet, one side chain pointing to the right. Look at this big wave here. That's two side chains pointing to the right. This one is number 42. This one is number 41. So that's a beta bulge. It's a bulge in a beta sheet. And it allows this sheet to turn. It's kind of going up and then it turns. So I have to decide, am I going to put one in there? It is possible to put a beta bulge in a folded design and still pass the ideal loop filter. I'm just going to do it. Sure, why not? Okay, so we have basically one inward facing and then immediately the beta bulge. So this is the one inward facing and then these two would be the beta bulge. Okay. That kind of makes sense because it's going to both bend the sheet and also curve it. If we look at the whole sheet of 3 head on, it's going to curve this one that way, towards the top right. And when it comes across the top, it has to come down on this side of this one here. So it makes sense that it would curve in that direction. Okay, to make a beta bulge, there's only certain places that they work. I can tell looking at this that this is one of the places. The segment numbers are going down here, like this one is 41, 42, 43. So the sheets on the left, the segment numbers are going downward, and we want it to bend towards us. So that is a place that you can put a beta bulge. We could not put one in this sheet bending away from us when it's on the left like this. If it were on the right, we could put one in bending away from us. I've just kind of memorized where they can go. Okay, so the two that are going to form the beta bulge are this one and this one. I'm going to change them to arginine so I can easily see them. The first one is going to go from the blue area of the Rama map to the red area. It's going to be over to the left of where the regular helix ones are. And the second one is going to stay in the blue area, but it's going to go towards the upper left. I know this because Remix found me one of these guys, and I memorized what it looked like. Okay, so you can see that puts like almost a right angle in the sheet, which is more than I want, more of a bend than I want. Because I still want it to attach to this sheet here. So what am I going to do about that? I'm going to try bending it back a little bit from the green. Okay, that's all making it worse. Okay, I just gained a sheet bond. That's good. Foldit puts the, when you put in a green, it puts one of the greens down here in the lower right quadrant. I'm always happier when I move it up above the line. Okay, so this, now I got another sheet bond, that's good. This guy is bending too much, so let's move him closer to the blue area. No, that's worse. What would be better? Looks like lower down is better. I don't know, I'm a little worried about whether this is going to work. Twitch culture is a deep rabbit hole. Yes, I gathered that. These strats. Oh, strategies. You wonder how long it takes to learn and practice these sorts of things. The sorts of things I'm using in the design. So I've been folding for 6 years, so it's less than 6 years. And I also do some pretty adventuresome designs. You know, like this one, this is definitely black belt stuff. I mean, the first stream that I did that I succeeded in recording was advanced folding. This is advanced you're crazy folding. So yeah, you don't have to learn all this stuff ever, but certainly not in a short amount of time. Okay, I kind of still want that to move back some. Yeah. Okay, so this is supposed to go up and over the top. I didn't want it to go away from its neighbor. Maybe I should make it go up first and then put in the beta bulge to go over the top. That might be good, actually. Actually, I really like that idea. That's my plan. I'm going to try it. Okay, let me straighten these by doing ID-less-S and drag the, oh, I didn't have a, there's not an ideal loop on there. Okay, I don't have to drag anything off. Let me make these isoleucine. And then I'm going to go up to these two and put in the beta bulge. We'll see how that works. Okay, I'm going to make them both arginine. And the first one goes in the red, lower left. Second one, blue, goes up to the left. I'm also kind of a big memorizer, and you know, the idea of Foldit is that the rules of folding are supposed to be discoverable. So when I discover one, I either write it down or memorize it. So I don't have to rediscover it again, because I don't find the discovery part to be easy. Okay, so now I've got my beta bulge in somewhat differently than the original, which is fine because this is a creative endeavor. And it looks like it's going to take in, out to get across the top. Let's see, a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 side chains, and then this weird loop going into the helix. I'm going to try and substitute an ideal loop for the weird one. But in any case, it looks like I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. On the other hand, I started up here, so maybe only 3-ish to get across the top. Let's try 3. 1, 2, 3. So what if I put my loop in here? And what kind of loop am I going to use? It's going to be a helix to sheet loop. Maybe I should make some helix. How long is my helix going to be? That's not what I wanted. How long is their helix? 2 full turns and not quite a third full turn, so 2 full turns is roughly 8, and maybe 3 more makes 11. Okay, we'll guess 11-ish, 12-ish. Let's see, these were 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have 2 or 3 loop, and then let's make 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. Tired of looking at that. 10, 12. We'll try 12 for starters. Make it helix using my keyboard shortcuts, so you don't actually see me clicking on the somewhere down here. Yeah, I use L for modify backbone secondary structure and K for helix because there's a K in helix in Foldit. Okay, and 5 is the keyboard shortcut for ideal SS. Okay, so I have a helix and I want probably at least these 2 to be loop, and this is going to be a helix to sheet loop. So a green blue would put the helix end above the sheet end, as would a green blue red, although not as much. Blue red would put the helix end below the sheet end. Blue red red would do the same. But I'm going to kind of straighten it out a bit. These are U-turns. I don't want a U-turn. I want less of a turn. I'm going to try the blue red. See how it goes. Okay, that puts it over here. That's kind of the opposite side that I wanted it. So let's undo. Maybe leave one more segment of sheet and try it here. Okay, I moved my sheet. So now it puts it on the right side. And the question is, can I bend it down to be sort of even with this sheet without losing the ideal loop? Well, it already says it's not ideal. Beauty. How would I bend it down? Just start dragging stuff. Oh, I know why it's not ideal. It's not ideal because this doesn't have any sheet bonds. So I need to either make these taller or make this shorter. Or when I have there's going to be a sheet between this helix and this sheet here. It's going to go up between them and then over the top. So I'll have to bond that sheet, the blue one, to this one and get some sheet bonds in order for this loop to be kosher. Okay, I think I can do that. Cool. It's good to have a plan. Okay, I'm actually really pleased with how that went. So my helix is kind of parallel to this sheet. It's also kind of closing off the end of the barrel. This doesn't look like a barrel, it looks like a sandwich. Maybe it'll get rounder. My experience with Foldit is that the sheets never get curvier, they always get flatter. So if I'm starting with them flat, I think they're going to stay flat. Let me look at the natural. Okay, in the natural, here we are. There's my helix coming down off this light blue, and there's the blue sheet going up between the helix and the orange sheet. Okay, in this, the helix stops pointing towards the sheet. I don't know if that's what I need or not. I seem to be pointing away. If I, well, we'll try making those loop and see what happens. Not sure I'm going to be able to use up all these segments. Okay, here's my loop. It's going to be a sheet to helix. Sorry, I've been letting the chat go. Don't mean to ignore you, Socrates. I want to hear what you have to say. 6 years, yes, it's true. Some quality of life things that you wish carried over from other sandbox games. Still learning all the hotkeys. Oh yeah, I used the old term, keyboard shortcuts. They're hotkeys, you're right. If you can get them down soon over the next few weeks, you'll be able to make Sox's lab look really slick. Well, it looks pretty slick already. I enjoy watching it. Okay, this is a sheet to helix loop. I'm going to try red-blue, because I am. Wait. Okay, wait. First off, I got to change some of these. I have a green-green here. Change the aminos to NG. I've got a blue-red here. I don't know what they're supposed to be, so I'm going to make them both asparagine, which is N. This one looks like it's sort of pointing inward, so maybe I'll make it something else like leucine. Oh, and I want my helix to be all leucine too. Okay, there we go. Now I'm ready for a sheet helix loop. I'm going to try red-blue. When it comes to turning corners, I like the little blue-red and red-blue loops. So that actually looks kind of promising. Seems like maybe one more segment of helix would bring it closer to its intended neighbor. So let's pull that off, drop it on again, but make one more segment of helix. And that turns too far. So as often happens, I have a choice of turning too far or not far enough. I'm going to go with not far enough. Okay, let me make all these loop. I'm sorry, sheet. Again, I'm going to use this many helix ones, and it's kind of funny working from right to left on the blueprint, which is from the higher numbered segments to the lower numbered segments. Okay, so this helix does not turn around as far as I want it to bring this sheet next to that sheet. So I'm going to have to curl it a little bit tighter. And the way to do that on the Rama map is to highlight each segment in turn, find its dot. Let's bring this to the front. And let's see, what did I say? Tighter, right? Curling tighter. Move the dot up a tiny bit, like 1 dot width is usually enough. Okay. Next dot. You don't have to put them in a particular place, just wherever they are, move them up a little bit from there. So up makes the helix curl tighter. Down makes the helix curl looser. If I had left that extra helix segment in there, I would want the whole thing to curl more loosely in order to not curl too far. How are we doing? Getting there. This is not an exact science. A little more. And the reason I'm highlighting them in the blueprint is just that's easier for me than trying to click on the right one in the helix. Okay, so now this sheet is close to that sheet. How exactly are they going to go together? So this sheet starts with an inward-facing side chain. This sheet starts with an outward-facing side chain. So I can't bond these two together. Wonder if I'd be happier with the green, blue, blue. Let me save this. I haven't saved anything yet. What am I on? 1433, track solo 2. And this is my first arrangement. Okay, it's saved. I'm also going to quick save it. I'm going to pull that red blue off and try a green blue blue. Oh, so that's better, prettier. I like that. So given that, maybe I could loosen the helix just a little bit. These guys are hard to see. So this sheet starts with an outward facing side chain. This sheet now starts with an outward facing side chain. It's just down a little bit from that one, but I'm going to band them together and make them go together. Let's see if I can move this one up a little. It's down. This is up. So let me actually talk about what I'm doing there. So I want to rotate this sheet higher. So I moved away from it to something I could use as a hinge, which is this segment here. And I want to move the dot for this segment so that this sheet moves slightly clockwise. I don't know which way to move it. I just started, I think, with down, and down actually moved the sheet up, which is what I wanted. So I just guessed right. Maybe. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, this is not an exact science, but it is science. It's science, damn it. Okay. Small, medium, and large Twitch chats all have their unique perks and quirks. I'll buy that. Larger Twitch chats are more like a stadium, while smaller ones are like a couch. Yeah, I read your article about the couch. Actually, before you even started folding on Foldit, I had read your couch article. Because I was reading several months ago, thinking about, gosh, I wonder if streaming would be good, and I wonder if I could do it. And actually, I was making instructional videos, and so I was reading about how to do that, but I ended up reading your couch video. Here, listening, watching. Watching is the verb I want, your couch video. Okay, I'm going to put some rubber bands. You could link it here if you want to. I don't have the link handy. Okay, banding all my sheets. Really want both of these to bond. So with the beta bulge, that's that blue thing we made here with the turning the corner, both of these side chains face outward, away from the core, and I want both of them to hydrogen bond to one outward facing side chain here. And then the next one, this is the inward facing one, and I want it to hydrogen bond to this guy right here. I don't want to pull, I do want to make a band. Let's get rid of side chains. And I really want these guys to stay together. I'm going to add a little extra banding there to try and keep them close enough, because when they moved apart, I got the nasty red. And this one is red. Well, hopefully Foldit will do the right thing, given the chance. And this one's red. Well, that's because I don't have sheet bonds here. Okay. So I mentioned earlier, I think that this was kind of squishing into the core. I wanted it to move out a little. So again, I'm going to choose a hinge right there and try and move this sheet a little bit clockwise. Which way do I move the dot? I don't have a clue. I'm guessing down. Down seems to work. Down and to the right is good. Maybe not quite that far. How'd we do? Okay, these guys are still close. A little too close. They'll work it out. Okay, then I want this sheet, I might make this guy longer. I want this sheet to turn and go over the top and bond with this one. So I'm going to look at the natural protein. This is the sheet I'm working on, this blue one. It's got a beta bulge in it too. So this is how big the wave is for one side chain. This big wave here, that's two side chains. Number 16 and number 15. And that's pretty low down on the sheet. That's like the first outward pointing one after the helix on here. I think mine's going to be higher up, just like on the other one. So let me think for a minute. So let me turn and look. Okay, I know the front sheet, the back sheet's currently in the front, okay, and it's kind of in the way, but I'm looking at the front sheet, which is in the back. My segment numbers are coming downward, and the sheet is on the left, and I want it to curve towards me, so that is allowed. The actual rule for the beta bulgers is that they have to be between, you see how the hydrogen bonds are like in pairs? There's like two close together, and then there's a big space, and then there's two close together, and then there's a big space. The beta bulges have to be between the two that are close together. They can't be between the ones that are far apart. But what that works out to is segment numbers coming down, sheet on the left, it can curve towards you. Okay, where are the side chains? This one goes out, this one goes out. Do I want to put it down here? That's one spot. So I think the natural one is like here. I don't see how that could be true. So I could put it here. I think I'll try that. Okay, it's going to be these two. I'm going to make them both arginine. Better way to manipulate single residue angle. Well, yeah, the Rama map is much better for me than what they had before. Before, you had to put cut points and then move the pieces around by hand, which that was much better than what we had before that, which was that you had to use rubber bands and try and wiggle stuff into the shape that you wanted. So cut points were way better than just using rubber bands. But with cut points, you can't guarantee that the angle you're putting it at or the distance you're putting it at is realistic. And they were getting, in the design puzzles, we were making terrible loops. They blamed it on the rebuild tool, but I think it was the cut points. We were making loops that were very not realistic, not natural looking. So I like the Rama map because it keeps things natural looking, keeps them realistic, likely to fold up, I think. Okay, of these, this is the first one. It's going in the red area. I can just drop it on the dot that I put there before, unless I happen to let go of it, which I did. Or I can lose track of my mouse and just fail miserably. Whee! Okay, and this is the second one, and it goes up in the corner. So that bends this thing, well, you know. Whoa, one of my ears just shifted its pressure. That was very strange and not comfortable. So these guys are kind of parallel up here, which I really like. This guy's, you know, crashing into the other one, which I really kind of don't like. And how is this gonna, so this guy has a facing out side chain. This first side chain here is facing in. They're kind of visually lined up, but I can't join them together because the side chains are going opposite ways. So I'm either gonna have to have this guy with no neighbor, unless he gets a neighbor over here, and make this one line up with that. Or line this one up with this, and that means this one will have no neighbor, because he's not going to be able to bond to this. If this one has no neighbor, I'll definitely get a bad loop penalty there. I think I'm going to bond this one over there, which is going to make the barrel a little more open. This barrel is more open than the natural one. The natural one is pretty small. It makes a little, almost a circle. Mine is taller, more of a sandwich. Not necessarily a bad thing. It will make it hard for me to have a good core. In fact, I think the core on this one is doomed. But I'm going to make it anyway. I might make a smaller one later. Maybe on another puzzle. Okay, so this guy currently doesn't have a neighbor, but I can make this longer so that he will have a neighbor. That's my plan. Okay, let me add on the end, how many? 3. Make up a number. And now they're all mixed in with other stuff. Okay, these are the new ones. I'm going to ideal SS them and make them isoleucine. And then I really want this to bend that way. How would I do that? Another lucky guess. Wow. I love it when things work. Okay. Let's hide the side chains. Okay, both of these blue ones are going to bond to 1 there. This is not happening. These 2 are going to bond. These 2 are going to bond. Why? Okay, stop that. There we go. Those guys would not disappear. Okay, so in theory, this will curve over. In reality, don't know. Hope so. Okay, these guys are going to bond, these guys, and this one cannot bond over there because of the beta bulge. Nature actually puts beta bulges in sometimes when it wants to prevent, I know nature doesn't really want things, but when it is advantageous to prevent a sheet from sticking on the outside of another sheet, sometimes a beta bulge will appear to prevent the sticking. Okay, and then I said I was going to make a helix on the end of here to help close off this. And I might put helixes on the ends of both of these guys, because there's a lot of closing off to do here. But we'll start with one. Okay, where are the side chains? So this is going to be a, okay, these are the lower numbered segments. This is even lower. So this is, the helix is going to have lower numbered segments than the sheet. So it's a helix to sheet loop. I did a helix to sheet loop here, and it made a nice right turn. and the first side chain faced out, and it was a green-blue. So this will be the first side chain facing out. These will be the loop. Wrong. Still wrong. Loop. Okay, now they're loop. And then this will be helix. How many of these do I have? This is segment number 13. Do I really want 13 of helix? I think I added 3 on the end. So I think I have 78 now. So I could take 3 off the beginning and have 75, which is the minimum, the recommended minimum. Okay, I'm going to start by just curling it all up. Helix and ideal SS. Socks has linked his couch article. Yeah, I recommend it to anybody watching, about how the internet is like a big comfy couch in your room, and your friends come over and sit on the couch and watch you play a game and you chat about it. That's what Twitch is. Okay, you say you always notice those bonds formed a certain way, and you know about the atomic structure reason behind it. That's cool. Yeah, if you look in stick view, I think it is, you can actually see where the bonds come out from, because they're, why can't I move this? Having some trouble with left mouse click. There we go. So, in Foldit, it looks like this corner is making a bond and this corner is making a bond, but really, like, each segment is making 2 bonds, and it's 2 on one side, and then 2 on the other side, and then 2 on this side, and then 2 on that side. It looks really cool in stick view. You say this is really cool to watch. Well, good. Thank you. It's fun to do. Reminds you of Bob Ross and the joy of painting. I need bigger hair for that. The joy of folding. Don't know if the joy of folding will take off. The thought is a cozy one. I'd love to have the joy of folding take off. Okay, I kind of lost my place. What am I doing? I'm making a helix, and I need a loop. All right, my helix is highlighted, so I'm going to make it all be leucine. Okay, cool. And this loop is right here. It's going to be, what did I say, green to blue. Helix sheet, green, blue, drop it right on there. That kind of sticks the helix right through the middle, which looks cool, but isn't what I want. So how do I move these? Okay, I can just copy the other one. Get this out of here. Copy the other one. Okay, I had, this is the green. It's this one sort of up and to the right. This is the green. It's also up and to the right. Okay, I guess I didn't change that one. Here's the blue. Blue's in the middle here. This blue, bring it down, drop it on there. Now I copied the right angle. Yeah, this end is just way, way too open. And this is not making it better. So this green-blue loop puts the helix outside the barrel. Don't want that. I don't want it to go through the middle, but I want it to be, you know, between the sheets. So it's covering up this end. So I'm going to try a different one. I'm going to try the trusty blue-red. Okay, that's more promising. Okay, what did I do with this? Looks like I moved it down. Yes, yes, this is good. Okay, that's helping to cover the opening. These guys are still exposed. Dun. Let me get down a little more. Okay, I like this. This is good. I might be ready to shake and wiggle. Amazing. Okay, cool. Better save again. Always save. 14. What is this? Complete arrangement. Okay, I gotta make a note. I keep a little text document full of notes. Do I have one? Yes, there it is, 1433. So first arrangement I saved. Second arrangement, what's my score? Minus 368,000. And I saved it, yay. Okay, let me look at, oh, I made a new loop. I don't really want leucine for these, although that one looks like it's kind of pointing inward, doesn't it? I'm going to leave that at leucine. This one points outward. We'll make it asparagine. Okay. So I changed the helixes to leucine, and I changed the loops, and the beta barrels, I made them blue. Beta, not beta barrels, beta bulges. But then I leave the sheets all isoleucine initially. So, you know, it's all orange. Eventually the outer ones will turn blue. That's kind of cool. It's like a little box. Look, there's a little hollow middle. I bet it's super, super voidy. Those are the clashes. Those are the voids. Yeah, there's a gigantic void in there. Okay. That must mean you could drop a drug molecule right in there and it would carry it to the tumor. That's what we want, right? Okay, I have a frozen thing. Let me unfreeze it. Okay, let me think. What do I do now? I'm going to freeze the things I don't want to be misshapen. I'm going to unfreeze one at the end of each structure for flexibility. This sheet, I want it to kind of bend in the middle. I'm not going to freeze this one. This one, I might end up not freezing any of these sheets because I kind of want them all to curve. Yeah, I'm not going to freeze any of them. Normally I would. I'm really tired of these. Maybe some of those will go away. Normally I would freeze the sheets and unfreeze the end segment of each sheet. I'm not going to do that this time. Okay, where's my behavior? I always start at 20%, more flexible than 100%. Gonna shake. Stick view is cool to look at, but man, is it a mess. Oh man, it is hard to see stuff in stick view. So after I design the backbone, do I typically let mutate do most of the rest? I try and get the shape stable, which is usually a wiggle with stuff frozen, and then another wiggle with stuff unfrozen, and then any repairs that I need to make. And then I run mutate, and I do 3 or 4 cycles of mutate, shake, wiggle at different clashing importances. And then I'm ready to run scripts on it. And assuming nothing breaks, it's all scripts after that. Wonder if we're going to have monomer design with a small molecule ligand in the future. It's a cool idea. Right now, B. Kep, who's the lead scientist on the Foldit project, is he's working on testing and hopefully proving some of our designs in the wet lab. And I don't know how many he's got so far that have worked. When he has enough, whatever enough is, I think he's going to publish a paper. So it's only very recently that Foldit designs have started folding up as planned. It's taken a bunch of years to get Foldit design. Well, okay, I take it back. There may have been some that were all helix that worked out pretty well, but the sheet and helixes together, the first one to be proved was just proved a matter of months ago. So we're still kind of in the baby step stage for design. And once we've got that down, they might do something cool like add a ligand, but I don't think there's, let me think, has there been a success? There's been a successful Foldit ligand problem. I know you say ligand, but Webster says ligand, so I'm okay. Foldit players did succeed in designing an enzyme by modifying a natural molecule. So I guess that's a ligand problem because the enzyme had to stick to something. But I don't know, I don't think we have ever designed a ligand. I think that's brand new. So it'll be a while. I think it's in the future, what you said, but not right away. I want to see more electron density puzzles from Foldit designs because that would mean that they managed to crystallize them. We haven't heard since the spring of any being crystallized. Okay, part of why I'm still shaking is because I can't see the iteration counter. 16, that's way more than I needed. Okay, I'm at minus 208,000, so 20% clashing importance is too high. I'm going to start at 5, set recent best, do a quick save, and let it rip. Wiggle. See what these bands can do. Ooh, look, I briefly got, there they are. That's the triangular hydrogen bond pattern of a successful beta bulge. Of course, these guys should also hydrogen bond. These are not lined up yet. Oh, you know, if this guy gets a neighbor on this side, then he doesn't have to have a neighbor on this side. Yeah, stop. Stop the wiggle, undo the wiggle. Let me change these bands. I'm going to put them this way because it seems more inclined to work that way. Then this guy's going to not have a neighbor that he can bond to. Maybe it'll work out. Who knows? Okay, so this guy's not getting a neighbor on that side because of the beta bulge, but he's got a neighbor on this side. So he'll still be counted as a sheet. And that'll make the whole thing somewhat less airy in the middle. Okay, now we're going to wiggle. Got to plan out your neighbors. And the reason the hydrogen bonding is important is that's how Foldit decides what's a sheet and what's a loop and what's a helix is by the hydrogen bonding. So in order for this to be counted as sheet, there have to be one or more sheet bonds at least near it, if not on it. If it's not counted as sheet, it'll be counted as part of the loop, and then the loop will be non-ideal, as it is currently non-ideal because there's no sheet bonds here. Come on, Foldit. Make some bonds for me. These guys look good. This doesn't look good. This is that one that I had trouble with before. I hope that's not a permanent state of affairs. I wonder if there could be a puzzle pack for learning to create advanced structures like that. A puzzle pack? You mean like a pack of tutorials? That's an interesting idea. You'll be sure to keep spearheading improvements to Foldit that'll make it easier for people to get into. Great. I love that. I hope you do keep doing that. I'm the kind of person that sort of, it makes me miserable, but I get used to it, and then I don't think about how it could be better. So you definitely have a valuable contribution to make there in terms of what would be more playable and more appealing to people. Okay, hydrogen bonds are not happening here. This makes me sad. What are we at? 7 iterations, and the score is it climbing or just wandering around? Kind of looks, oh, I'm still at 5%. Maybe I could go up to 20. That was the plan. So I want this to get closer there. I want this to get closer here. I want, okay, this is curling around this, so not sure why I don't have a band here. Yeah, so Foldit, it's hard to get Foldit to make curved sheets. This one is curving somewhat. These guys are, they're doing the fan thing, which sheets like to do, and normally I like to see that, but they're not doing the concave curling like the natural protein does. And that, maybe because I have short loops instead of long loops, maybe because of the rubber bands. Oh, this guy stopped being a penalty. That's nice. There's the sheet bond right there. Cool. Glad to see that. Oh, I'm at 4,000. That's good. What did I get on my other design? My other design, first wiggle, frozen, I got 5,200. So I'm not going to get that on this one. But this is an experimental anyway, so that's okay. So this has a little bit of the V shape here that the natural one has, but not as much. Let's see, how does that line up? This has a wider V. Let's see, kind of looking down the core of that bottom helix. It's not a huge difference. I guess I could move this over where you could see it. Get this out of here. Don't need this anymore. So looking down the barrel of that helix, I've got a narrow V. Nature has a wider V. And much curlier sheets. Well, actually those back sheets are not super curled. Oh, it's got the beta bulge lower down. I put mine higher up. So yeah, I'll have flatter sheets on the back. How are we doing on bonds? Still lacking. Sadly lacking. Okay. How are we doing on score? Oh, I'm at 400 iterations. Maybe I could stop now. Why are these guys not lining up? Why, Foldit? What could I do about that? I already have, so the bands I have are full strength. I mean, I could make them stronger than full strength, but that would normally deform the sheets. I can unfreeze the helixes, but that's not going to affect the sheets much. This guy, I could maybe just turn it. Getting closer. just got worse. Well. Okay, where did this one go? This one went sort of up and right. So what if this one, oh, it's already down and left. What if this back here was down and left? That's not better. Down is better. Well, this is down almost into the red area. That's not really what I want, but maybe wiggle will fix it. I think when I made a barrel before I had, oh, look at that. I got a bond right there. Okay, that's an improvement. What do I do with these guys? Why are they not? Maybe it's clashing. Maybe there's clashing in the middle and that's why they won't get closer together. I'm going to try. Okay, from this one, I'm going to Control Shift Drag. Whoops, from, yeah, one of these guys. Okay, and that's going to select everything that's in the neighborhood. And I'm going to mutate. Because if there is clashing inside, oh, well, it just put a gigantic tryptophan in there. Okay, that makes it seem like maybe it's not so crowded. I was thinking that crowding inside was keeping these sheets from lining up. Normally I don't mutate until I have a stable shape, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So what do I want to do? Maybe make this stronger? Let's see, if I make it stronger, I can't make it weaker during the wiggle. I already bonded to that. Banded, not bonded. If I add extra bands, I can disable them during the wiggle. Okay, that's supposed to slide those more in line. This is non-ideal. What could I do about that? This could be small. Just trying to select one thing. Let's see, if it's a sheet, I can't put an alanine there. I probably can't put a glycine there. Darn. Foldit put a threonine, but it's supposed to actually be in the core. So that's not good. Can I make it an alanine for now? No. Glycine? No. Won't let me. So threonine is the smallest. Well, valine, I guess, is also small. If I wanted that to curl down, what if I band from it down to this helix to try and pull the end down? Sure, why not? It could happen. That's a problem with a bunch of games, actually. I can't remember what I said that you're responding to. Sunk cost fallacy is huge. Yeah, I'm sorry, I lost track of what that's in response to. I think maybe a further away one like this one would be better. Trying to get rid of that one. Okay. All right, well, we'll try it. See if it gets better or worse. Let's shake again. Oh, I didn't save after my wiggle. Always save. It was about how newbies kind of get left behind once the veterans who know what they're doing get used to things. Yeah, I could see where that would be a common problem. How are we doing on time? I've completely lost track of time. 1:46. When did I start? Maybe 12:46? I don't know. Seems like it's been about an hour. Okay, that's enough shaking. Oh, I said I was going to save. What is it? 1433 S2, and this was first wiggle with frozen helixes. Okay. I think I changed a little bit after that, but that's all right. Okay, what did I change really? Where was that wiggle? It was here. Let me save that. First wiggle with frozen helixes. That's the real one, and that was 4139. Okay, then go back over here after the shake, and we're at minus 6,000. That's not too low. Wiggle. I should have done a save recent best. Oh well. If it goes higher, it won't matter. What did I have before? 4139. Ooh, look, I got to 5,000. Nice. Am I getting any hydrogen bonds? That's what I really want. Okay, these guys are bonding. It's working. I managed to slide those closer together. These guys, not so much. I have way fewer red glowy things. Those are the ideal loop penalties. So that's progress. This guy is a non-ideal loop because he lacks sheet bonds over here. So if I made these sheets longer, would it be easier for them to bend right there to keep up with this guy bending? I wonder. I'm not going to do that tonight, but I might do it tomorrow. And then this guy, even though there's a sheet bond there, oh no, it's the helix. Look, the whole helix is lit up. Maybe because there's no helix bonds, or not very many of them. I might have to rubber band that helix. Maybe I shouldn't have tightened it. I was trying to be too realistic. Look at this one, all out of shape. Why is that? There's nothing even pulling on it. Why? Oh, there's a rubber band pulling on this helix. That's probably why it's out of shape now. And it's not achieving what I wanted, which was curving this sheet. Okay, well, so this protein still needs some help. I think I'm gonna probably stop soon because I'm really tired. And do some first aid on it tomorrow before I mutate and run scripts. I might try making these, making this pair longer so that it could bend here. I think it can't bend so close to the ideal loop, the little short loop that I have. And there are some natural barrels where that pair of sheets comes all the way up. So that's what I think of as the back, all the way up and over, and like the pair of sheets sort of flops around in space over here. It doesn't wrap back down and bond with these sheets, but it just gets really long. So that's realistic. I don't make any attempt to copy the amino acids from the natural protein. I mean, I could find out what they are. The one exception was that this pair of arginines here, I did copy, but you know, I'm not trying to protect them. I'm letting Foldit change them to whatever it wants. So I'm just going after the shape. And as you've seen, I'm, you know, willing to change it. Really, why is this helix like this? What is causing that? Do I have a I don't have a blueprint on it that's pulling it? That's just bizarre. Okay, I've wiggled for a million years. I can stop now. Why is that like that? Very strange. I mean, maybe it's trying to hide the oranges, but it shouldn't be destroying a helix to do that. It's just weird. Okay, well, I'm going to save this. Oh, wait, no. First, restore recent list. What did I get? 5234. Did you see how much that moved? So this was the high score, and this is where it stopped, which is worse. I'm going with the high score. Okay, save that. What was that? Second wiggle, unfrozen. Extra bands. Okay, sucks. You got to go to sleep soon as well. Yeah, it's late. Well, it's late here. It's not late where you are. What time is it where you are? Well, 11. Okay, that's late. I guess that helix is all like, if it fits, I sit. Okay. When I do this, I'm looking through my bifocals. You wouldn't know that because you're young. Okay. Well, so this is not as pretty as I hoped it would be, but it's still got potential. Look, it's like a square. These things are like completely straight. How am I doing on core filter, by the way? I've got 2 bad loops. I've got 3 extra residues. Might delete those later. Core lost points minus 200. That means I think there are 25 apiece on this puzzle. That means I have 8 too few residues in the core. That's bad. That's really bad. So, like, there's only 2 core residues on this helix. There's only 2 on that helix. Well, this guy actually has 3. That's surprising. And all these inward-facing side chains that are green, they're too far apart from one another to count as core. And I don't foresee that little detail getting any better. So this may be doomed from a core perspective, which is what happened to my other barrel too. Let me see, can I pull that other barrel up? This was the first barrel that I made, and you can see it's wide open and the ends are not closed, so it completely failed on the core filter. On this one I had, instead of having a helix here on the medium blue strand, I had my helix kind of down on the bottom. But I got lots of sheet bonds, which was nice. And I got the ideal loop filter bonus, but no core, because like all this stuff is exposed. But that was my first one. That was like on a previous puzzle. That was from puzzle 1358, so that was a long time ago. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get much in the way of core on this. I should have more. This should be able to go inward more and have more orange on this helix. But I don't know if it can go in enough to hide these guys here. So making a smaller barrel, I elongated the sheets a little bit by moving the beta bulges up, and that made for a wider barrel, and that means poor core. So it's a trade-off. Okay, that's enough for one night. 10:53 Pacific time, yeah. You do wear glasses at least. Well, when you hit 50, you'll learn this maneuver. maybe with some big boy residues, coral will be fine, possibly. I often hope that putting some larger residues in will cause more residues to be in the core, and I just can't ever remember a time when that worked. It seems like it ought to work. Can't remember a time when it has. So I don't know. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. It looks like I have 2 viewers. There's a silent viewer here. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. I hope sometime you'll chat with us. Socks and I have dominated the chat. And any of you that are watching on video, I hope you'll join us live sometime and chat, either me or Socks. We both stream now. There's 2 Foldit streamers in the universe. That's great. That's twice as many as before. And I'll say good night to everyone. It'll take me a second to figure out how to stop streaming because, like I said, I'm new. Oop, there it was. Okay, glad you were here. See you next time.